embarrassing to say the least. No doubt. We got Bob calling in from Texas. What say you, my friend? Do we got Bob?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
You hear me?
Yeah, I got you now, Bob.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you. Really love what you're doing, and it's getting to the criticality time where we actually have to become sovereigns individually ourselves. So I really love what you did with the Target manager yesterday, and also about talking to the sheriff. And I know I'm harping on you, and you don't have to do this, but what I would like to do is get you to write up a 3-minute public presentation that could be delivered to a commissioner's court in any county in America. I think there's 3,000 counties or something, so that your listeners can go in there and tell the commissioners and the sheriff, who will likely be in that body, or his chief deputy, and maybe a lot of the constables, exactly what the law is, both civil and biblical, on how these grown-ups giving this pornography to children and grooming them to become sodomites.
That's exactly
is
what it
just
is.
the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, it's not, and Bob, not only that, it's not only the wrong thing to do, but it is a crime against children. This is what nobody ever talks about, Bob. It's a crime. They're violating law, and the American people have within themselves that they have a right to go ahead and do whatever they want to do, as if to suggest that they're above the law, Bob. And only the American people are going to be the ones that are going to set this record straight. And I'm talking lawfully. Again, but they don't have a right to break the law. Bob, I'm going to take a hard break. I'll pull you right up on the other side, okay? Folks, Sons of Liberty Radio.
The point I'm trying to get across to Bradley is he's instructing people what the problem is. He's showing them the law that backs it up, but he's not showing them where they can show up in the commissioner's court, city councils, and school boards, where law enforcement is likely there, especially in commissioner's court with the sheriff. And that's the way that listeners in 3,000 counties in America could bring this Target situation to a stop. Maybe just in one county, maybe in 2, but eventually it will spread.
Okay, so welcome back again to the Sons of Liberty. I'm going to get to something in just a moment here, but Bob, I'm going to hand it back over to you. Bob from Texas, again, welcome to the show. And I gave you my 2 cents during the end of the last segment there, so what say to you to that?
You're absolutely right. People have the right to do right. They do not have the right to do wrong. Now, you're telling everybody the problem, and I would love you to tell them the solution. And
I don't. I tend to differ, Bob. I've been showing. I do this every show. I show the people the problem. I show them the law, and if the people fail to be the law in laying the axe to the tree, to the root of the tree, that's their problem. I am not the Savior. I serve the Savior. I am constantly making reference to the answer. If the people don't want to respond to the answer that these said representatives are breaking the law, that's on them, not on me. I am being burnt in every direction doing what I do here, my friend.
Right. So I'm just asking for, writing up a 3-minute presentation that each of your listeners can take to their commissioner's court, city council, or school board and present it to them with the facts of the law. And if the sheriff or the constable or any of those people happen to be there, or even the DA is frequently at our meetings, and other elected officials, and that's where this gets fixed. We have to take what you taught us and go to the body that we elected. The one that's most local is the one we can impact, and if we're not impacting them there, our chances is in hell at the state or the federal level. So we got to do it locally, and I would love it if you would find 3 minutes to show up at your commissioner's court and speak to those judges and the sheriff that will likely be there exactly what they're not here. They're not listening to you on the radio, but they'll listen to you in court. And that's about all I got to say.
Yeah, Bob, they're listening. They're listening, and they're scared to death that the people that are listening are actually going to respond. But I do know that they're listening. Rest assured. I would ask, Bob, where are you listening to me? Can I